This is Ken Feudernick, the host of Courageous Conversations about our schools. This is a story about the unusual steps school leaders in Middletown, Ohio, took to avoid the kind of culture wars that have wreaked havoc in countless school districts across the country.
My name is Marlon Styles. I was a proud superintendent in Middletown City School District in Southwest Ohio.
Marlon started off here. In his first 2 or 3 years, he was a rock star. I mean, everybody loved him.
But at a school board meeting shortly after the beginning of the school year, he had a flare-up of resistance.
I watched so many board meetings in other school districts across the country where this inappropriate behavior was starting to surface.
Welcome, everyone, to our meeting for Monday, August 23rd.
I knew it was coming.
Would you mind standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance.
There was tension in the room. You could feel the emotion in the room. There were police officers there. It gave the sense that one could expect violence.
I think it is 100% wrong to force the kids to wear masks.
Mr. Styles and the school board, this woke CRT ideology is not education. It's indoctrination.
The one thing I thought in my head that night as they were speaking was, how do we not become the fire? More importantly, how do we reach out to the community to come together so we can keep the focus on what we're trying to do for kids? But I knew that if I said anything, it would add fuel to the fire. So I really started thinking about, how do you rally the village and really empower and activate the quiet majority? And I started thinking about who's the right quiet majority that can really entertain having a conversation about how we're going to handle this. Notice I'm not saying how I'm going to handle this, but how we. So I thought about who the right group was, and it was the Middletown Area Ministerial Alliance.
So their plan became to sign up for school board speaking slots.
The faith-based leaders took the microphone, and their message of unity just sang so loud in that room that night. And they weren't talking to me as the black superintendent. They weren't talking to the board president. They weren't talking to the other 4 board members. They were talking to the community.
Middletown is a strong city. It's strong because of our faith to love and respect one another.
I'm just impressed with this town, and I'm impressed with the leadership generally, and I would encourage the community to support elected leaders.
The beautiful thing about it was white, black, Hispanic, male, female, different denominations, faith-based leaders from across the community took advantage of the platform, and they were willing to come back as long as they needed to really stand for what the community believed in. It was just something that has changed my life forever. I was so impressed and forever changed with their leadership.
I love the story because we desperately need examples of how people and communities manage to get out of dysfunctional conflict. The only way to learn, right, is by finding these outliers or positive deviants, right? Like communities that manage to not implode in conflict just yet and learn from what they did.
I would understand anyone's cynicism about revitalizing civic culture. I think it is daunting, but I really don't think we have a choice. I look at my kids and I don't have a choice. I want them to live in a country that actually reflects their values and reflects a sense that there is wide public participation and we look out for each other.
The Middletown, Ohio story is incredibly important. The temptation always, when you get hit with criticism, is to defend yourself. And I love what Superintendent Styles did. Rather than the traditional, oh my gosh, how am I going to defend the district and myself? He said, I got to listen.